Following the successful defense of southern Westeros in the First Dornish War, peace with the Iron Throne was maintained throughout the reign of King Aegon Targaryen. However, relations again turned hostile under the rule of his son Aenys I, as a Dornish outlaw known as the Vulture King raised an army of 30,000 to wage war against the crown, resulting in the Vulture Hunt of 37 AC. Although the Dornish nobility claimed they had no hand in the rebellion, neither did they make efforts to stop them, leaving that responsibility to the Marcher Lords of the Stormlands and Reach, who were directly threatened by the war. Although the Vulture King was defeated, Aenys soon died due to poor health, allowing for his younger brother Maegor the Cruel to take power. Relations deteriorated even further throughout his brutal reign, and by 48 AC, the Dornish began gathering their forces to invade Westeros. However, Maegor soon died of self-inflicted wounds, leaving the throne to the eldest son of Aenys, known as Jaehaerys the Conciliator, considered one of the greatest Targaryen kings as he established peace and brought prosperity throughout the long years of his reign. When at last he died in 103 AC, the crown was inherited by his grandson Viserys I, and under his rule tensions rose once again with the south. Following the defeat of Volantis, the Kingdom of the Three Daughters, also known as the Triarchy, chose to expand their influence in the Narrow Sea by conquering the Stepstones. In time, many Westerosi grew opposed to this action, as it resulted in increased taxes and tariffs on sea trade. And so Prince Daemon Targaryen, brother of the king, and Corlys Velaryon, the Lord of Driftmark, raised an army and waged war against the Triarchy. Conquering all but 2 of the islands by the year 109 AC, they crowned Daemon Targaryen as king of the Stepstones and the Narrow Sea. However, the war continued for many more years, with Dorne choosing to ally with the Triarchy, combining their forces under Recalio Rindoon to eventually destroy the newly established kingdom, with Daemon Targaryen abandoning the throne in 115 AC. After the death of Viserys I, the Targaryen kingdom descended into civil war, weakening House Targaryen significantly as it resulted in the death of nearly all their dragons. Nevertheless, in 157 AC, the throne was inherited by a 14-year-old boy known as the Young Dragon Daeron I, an exceptional leader and warrior with a burning desire to complete the conquest of Westeros. Although his advisors were against the idea, the king soon convinced them by presenting a well-thought-out plan and successfully gathering the support necessary to complete his objective. And so began the Second Dornish War, as the royal forces were split into 3 groups, with the first led by Lord Lionel Tyrell of Highgarden, who marched through the Prince's Pass, while the king marched with an army through the Boneway, and Lord Alan Velaryon of Driftmark sailed his fleet to attack Plankytown, before sailing up the Greenblood to prevent cooperation between the Dornish East and West. By 158 AC, the nobles of Dorne were defeated, submitting to Targaryen rule. However, King Daeron then spent another year pacifying the territory and consolidating his power. When he felt his mission was complete, he departed for King's Landing, leaving Lionel Tyrell to keep the peace, and taking with him 14 hostages from great Dornish houses to ensure the loyalty of the nobility. And so it was the small folk who continued the war for the next 3 years, organizing small-scale rebellions as well as hit-and-run attacks throughout the territory. Although King Daeron initially believed he was successful in his mission, even writing a book entitled The Conquest of Dorne, in the end it cost him roughly 10,000 men to briefly win the south, and another 40,000 trying to keep it. Eventually, Lord Lionel Tyrell was assassinated through the release of red scorpions into his bed at Sandstone, and so King Daeron once again gathered his forces, marching south to try and regain control. The young dragon won several more victories during this campaign, and so attended peace talks in 161 AC, believing that the Dornish were prepared to submit. However, it proved to be a trap, resulting in the death of the king, the capture of Aemon the Dragon Knight, and the death of 3 Kingsguard, while a 4th chose to yield to the attackers. Although the people of King's Landing were outraged by this betrayal, the throne then passed to Daeron's younger brother, Baelor the Blessed, a religious man determined to end the bloodshed and seek peace with the south. After walking barefoot to Sunspear to demonstrate his humility, he released the 14 hostages taken by his predecessor and negotiated peace by arranging a marriage between his cousin Daeron and Princess Maria Martell. This cousin would then go on to inherit the throne a few years later, becoming known as Daeron the Good, who would at last unify Dorne with the rest of Westeros by arranging another marriage, this time between the Prince of Dorne, Meryn Martell, and the king's sister, Princess Daenerys, in 188 AC. And while this brought about peace with the south, many of those who fought in the Second Dornish War or lost a loved one in the fighting still harbored immense hatred for Dorne, leading them to later side against King Daeron II when Daemon Blackfyre launched the first Blackfyre Rebellion. Do your shopping on Amazon? Then why not check out the CivilizationEx store page, linked in the description box below, where you can browse through recommended fantasy and science fiction books, audiobooks, movies, TV shows, and more. Or else you can always use the Canadian, American, and UK Amazon links, where you support the channel with every purchase at no extra cost to you. So if you do your shopping on Amazon anyway, why not use the link below and help support CivilizationEx? A special thanks to all those who contribute to CivilizationEx, like Michael the Stallion Sixsmith, Thoros the Tall of the Stormcrows Company, Checo the Clever, and Nate Strong the Liberator. If you'd like to help CivilizationEx, click on the Patreon link, and please be sure to like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and click on the links to see more.